thing. Next time I watch it, I'm going to be looking out for Al. Any hints? There's just going to be hints of Al sitting there with his Ziggy just popping up. That's quite colourful as well, so that'd fit in with the whole Wonder Woman colour.
It's that time. Actually, it is that era. Maybe it was him.
It was Sam Beckett overall. We've just cracked Wonder Woman 3 when Steve Trevor leaps into Maxwell Lord's body.
And all Sam Beckett had to do was convince Diana that you don't need a fucking man to get by in life and that you can save the world on your own as a strong, independent woman, that he could go back to his own time.
This is going back to Steve Trevor. I think we need to broaden what we've said, that I didn't get that because it felt like the way Steve died in the first one, watching this again, knowing, so you quickly found out that she's going to have to renounce her wish, most likely, because when you find out that she's losing her powers because of him being there, it's kind of like, we know what's going to happen. Bye, Steve, he's going again. We've got to say goodbye to him again. We know he's going. And it's not even like a big dramatic ending. She just goes, I renounce my wish. Bye, Steve. And then runs like a motherfucker down the street back as Wonder Woman.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's like, that's...
It felt like it was just a reason to bring Chris Pine back into it more than anything.
Yeah, I don't feel that he was needed in that film.
And he looked a lot older.
Honestly, I honestly think that Patty Jenkins kind of dislikes men.
Okay, but maybe we let's not make this a sexist podcast.
No, it's not about sexism, but I'm just saying there was an awful lot with the say you got the Barbara bit where she was jogging. And most of her encounters with men were all sexual encounters, weren't they?
Yeah.
It was she's running down the street. Every single man she ran past was like, "Hey, honey, how you doing? Hey, nice legs. Hey, want a date?" And all this kind of stuff. There was all derogatory comments towards her and stuff like that. She was in an FBI building or some shit, wasn't she? She was looking up some files, and even the police officer that was helping her was like, "Anything I can get you? Coffee? This? Me?" You know, it's every single person, obviously I'm not a woman, so in the real world, I don't know what it's like for women if they are walking down the street and every single fucking man they walk past gives her a derogatory comment. But it was just I don't know, there was this kind of hatred of men in the movie almost. And the fact that the whole thing of Steve Trevor is without Steve Trevor, she can save the world. She can do everything, but with a man in her life, she is weak and vulnerable.
Yeah.
I was just there was a lot of I just felt for me, there was a lot of links to men are dickheads and shit, and women should really be without them.
It's kind of their way of promoting a superhero woman was, I guess it's a massive change to when we're growing up and it's all male dominated superhero films and it's the women are just save me, Superman. It's different.
And that's the thing. I was I'm all for that as well. I love the fact they do a standalone Wonder Woman movie in that. I don't think Steve Trevor and a love story had to be in it fucking at all.
No,
you know,
no.
And I don't,
it didn't. It seemed pointless. It seemed like just a filler. It seemed like a filler. Yeah. Like I said, he's gone again, and now she's over him, and she fancies the guy he was. Bit of a shit move, Steve. He could have leapt into anybody else. Could have leapt into a big podgy guy that doesn't go out. He leapt into quite a good-looking fella that she's going to instantly turn to and go, "Hey, how you doing? You're all right, to be fair. And I know what you're like because I've already been there."
Yeah. But then you've got obviously they go travelling around the world and trying to find this crystal, don't they? And then obviously they've gone to the oil barony thing in which you was talking about, where the big mud wall pops up, where he takes the guy's security and all that kind of stuff. And then there's a little mini kind of car chase scene, which was pretty action packed. It was a good scene. I like that.
I really enjoyed the car scene. Good. Steve kind of took a step back and he let Diana shine. Because when they were in that car, I actually sat and thought to myself, fuck, we've not seen Wonder Woman since the beginning. We've seen Diana, but we haven't seen Wonder Woman, apart from she saved Barbara quickly. I need to see some Wonder Woman. It was perfect timing for her to get in a costume. And the way she changed her costume, to me...
See, I was just about to say this as well. So what did you think of the costume change thing?
It just happened. It just...
Yeah, for me, I was waiting for that generic,
rip-off,
old school Linda Carter Wonder Woman change, where
I
legit thought she was going to do the whole spin change, because I thought they've got the whips, they've got the tiara, they've got the nice looking Wonder Woman costume, they've got the invisible fucking jet. So Now they're going to do the quick change spin, and I'll be like, and now it's complete. But instead, like, did you even see what happened? Because I don't know if it was a blink and you missed it moment.
The first time I watched it, because again, I told you, the first time I watched it, I had the Trini and the kids were there, and it was just a lot going on while I was watching it, dealing with the kids and stuff. So I watched it, and I remember thinking to myself then, did she just... I'm going to have to watch this again. I'm going to have to.
I swear, it was just like a kind of, almost like a
blend.
A kind of a Magic Mike moment where she just clutches her shirt and just goes, whooshum, and it's all off in one swift pull.
Or the Yes Man where he takes his clothes off. When he just stands
like
at the edge of the bed.
It kind of like reminded me of. I was just like, I don't know. It was just a weird kind of quick change where I didn't actually see it almost happen. It was that quick, but I was watching it. But it was kind of like a, whoom, and she's out the car and she's changed. But that's the first bit where you see her actually vulnerable, isn't it? As a this is where you start to see her taking damage. She gets shot or something in the shoulder, doesn't she?
Yeah, she gets shot. She's quite damaged. She's struggling underneath the car as well, isn't she? She's struggling to do anything.
Now starting to tie in the whole Diana's getting weak because of obviously the wish that she made. So it's starting to become a bit clear, which obviously is going to go into the bit. This kind of ties into, unless there's anything else you want to say about the car scene.
No, just that it was there. Then watching that when she's doing the jump in, that's when I was like, I remember the first time I watched it, the jump in where she's jumping up and you see it go like, right. This is made me think she still can't fly. She still can't fly. So this is hopefully where this is leading with the film. But yeah, the car scene was unbelievable. It was just fun. It was fun watching. Steve took a step back, so it wasn't about her trying to save Steve or something like that. He was just there trying to take control, let her shine.
Yeah, like the whole pushing the car along as well. I thought that was badass. The whole surfing that bit of metal door underneath the car as well. It was a solid scene. I quite enjoyed that one. And then obviously, as I said, she got shot, which is now showing her vulnerability as a thingy. And then this kind of ties into the scene where obviously when they get back home and stuff like that, and
what happened to the invisible jet? Did they fucking park it and forget where it was because they just got home? Like, invisible jet's gone.
It's invisible. It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying. They must have got there, got out. Both we didn't see it, but off screen, Diane and Steve turned around and went, "Fuck, man!
Fuck! Where did I park the jet?
Shit.
We're in the middle of a desert."
Steve's there with the keys. Beep beep. Dit, dit.
But it ties in with the them obviously going back home. They've kind of found out the bits they need to do, blah blah blah. A lot of other throwaway kind of scenes.
Dragged out the wishing scene, like the she's got to renounce it.
Yeah, but then you've got the golden armor. Okay, the eagle armor.
Right. Okay. What are you going to say about this?
Okay, so obviously he sees it on there and all that kind of stuff. They gave you the backstory because obviously she made the whip sim. Now she talks about this golden armor.
It's from Asteria.
It's from Asteria, and obviously that's her armor. It was like a kind of a Spartan shield type thing, like a full 360 shield. It's this big coat of armor that can withstand a lot of damage, kind of thing. Yeah, and so the first time, obviously the only time I've ever seen this pop up is in the Elseworlds comics. And it was actually, you'll probably know, the Kingdom Come comics, because I know you're into the Superman. It's Kingdom Come, where they're older, kind of Justice League kind of thing. That's where I know that armor from.
Right.
So I don't know much about the armor, but I know that, when that armor goes on, it's supposed to mean something. You know what I mean? It's like in Power Rangers when Jason calls on the Titanus and the Ultrazord kind of shit, and he's like, he calls down that, and you see the Megazord ride on the back of this fucking robot Bronchiosaurus.
Yeah.
You know shit's about to go down.
When you look back now and realise it's just a toy.
But you know what I mean? It's like it meant something. This is it's a big deal. And that's what that armour, I think, was meant to mean. But, I think they kind of missed a trick with that armour as it goes on. So it goes on to obviously the White House scene, which is once again another badass fight scene, I think, in the White House, where she's just once again using that whip constantly and, smashing the crap out of people. And then obviously Barbara comes in, not quite cheaty yet, but Barbara comes in and shows her abilities, beats the living piss out of Wonder Woman. So now you see her she can't stand up to Barbara. You know, she's beaten, she's battered. You see her all slumped off in the corner, scratched up, and you can just see on her face she's just defeated.
Yeah.
And she sees that kind of the toll that this wish has taken on her. You know, like the Barbara's totally changed her personality now. You get a bit of power. She's got power hungry, and she's lost her humanity. She says to her, you know what I mean? And that kind of makes her a little bit sad. But you kind of see how weak Wonder Woman is from that.
Yeah,
and then that kind of leads into the bit where she obviously fucks Steve Trevor off out of her life.
See you later. I'm going to go for the guy that you've become.
Yeah, you know, it's like, and this is the thing that I thought was funny though, in my opinion, where it's like the world is going to shit. Wonder Woman can no longer save the world. She's pretty much useless, all because there's a man in her life.
Yeah.
So, women, if you're out there, if you got a man in your life, just remember, Wonder Woman was able to save the world, and she was invincible without a man in her life. The moment she got one in there, she wanted her ex back. Look what fucking happened.
She did that twice in Wonder Woman 1
shit.
and 2. She saved the world both times. He disappeared and he said goodbye.
Yep.
Just saying that.
But then it's like, he obviously says, or she kind of walks away from him. She's like, chose the human race over him because the world's falling apart. So fair play, that's, you know, the right decision. But she gains her powers back instantly.
There's no.
And this is the bit where I kind of it irritated me with the golden armor, the eagle armor, because I thought, what better way to bring in that armor and fighting it than to be vulnerable? She's weak. She can't fight Barbara on her own, so she needs that armor. You know what I mean? She needs to put it on to protect herself so she can go up against a greater foe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But instead, they gave her all her fucking powers back and then stuck her in the eagle armor for no poxy reason. I'm like, why is she now in that? She's got no reason to be in that armor. Like, she can take her out on her own. She's invulnerable to freaking Cheetah at the moment.
Just to go back to when you first see that armor, like, my opinion on that was, like, when Aquaman goes to get his new costume, it's in the waterfall, he has to go in and do that trial. Wonder Woman's got the armor in her study behind her. She knows it's there. She could use that any time. She could be a super golden fucking Wonder Woman at any point. It's just sat behind her in a study. That's what bit to me. And then, like you say, she goes off, gets the armor because she knew it was there the whole time. It wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't a reason to go get it.
That's fine knowing it's there, because, like, obviously, when you need it, when the time comes, and you need to call upon it, it's there. But at the moment, obviously, Wonder Woman's pretty much almost invulnerable, and you know, Cheetah's. It depends where they're kind of going with Cheetah, because I know, like, in certain comics, like Cheetah, her fangs in one of the comics was able to pierce Superman's skin.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's how powerful she is. You know, so she can be quite powerful. She's got this, but obviously there was no kind of showing you what she can do as Cheetah. You know, there was no kind of holy shit. You know what, Cheetah, she can actually beat Wonder Woman. There was no explanation as to Cheetah's powers in that film. Instead, the first instance they fought together was her as a broken down Wonder Woman and her as Barbara with some slight powers. So that alone should have been, I need something to be able to beat her. Hence get the golden armor, then go up against her, you know, and then it would be more of a fight scene, you know what I mean? It would be more of and it would give it more meaning. To have her vulnerable, knowing that she can be killed now, she can be damaged, so she needs this big protective golden eagle armor. But instead, it's like, oh, now we're just going up against Cheetah, and I've got all my powers. I've just got a cool new costume to match.
2 hours and 31 of a movie, and you got Cheetah for less than 10 minutes. Like, you're building Cheetah for 2 hours and 20 minutes, roughly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think they left that too long. Like, the first part you saw Cheetah was the fight in the golden armor. I think you should have seen more of a Cheetah maybe at the White House, or a later scene where she absolutely kicks the living piss out of, like, Wonder Woman, to the point where if she was given back her powers, say, okay, so if that White House scene was done and she was vulnerable, when she got her powers back, there should have been another fight between Wonder Woman and Cheetah, and Cheetah should have wiped the floor with her to the point where she needed that extra armor, that extra, maybe it